And so, my goodness, 2 blocked field goals is what the Eagles lean on, in addition to some tush pushes, in addition to the passing game waking up. The Rams played brilliantly, but not enough. Sal Paolantonio, after the game, the intrepid one with Jordan Davis.
What a play to end the game, Jordan. Unbelievable. Tell me about it. What happened?
Just comes down to the basics, the details. We knew he was going to throw low. Just had to block it, get up there. I'm 6'6", for God's sake. I got to get my hands up. But I couldn't do it without a push from my brothers, man. Boys got to push. Ball on the ground, scoop and run.
Scoop and score, man. You ran the whole way.
Yeah, man. Speed never left. But, man, what a game, man.
It's tough. It's definitely tough. I mean, we put ourselves in a position to be comfortable in that game. You know, obviously the game isn't going to be, we weren't expecting to necessarily sustain that lead the entire time. Obviously that's the goal, but when you're in that position, you expect to capitalize. So it's definitely a little demoralizing.
All right, so, I mean, there's a lot of things to look at here. 26 final points scored by the Eagles. -1, as we said, passing at the half. The Rams, they sack them quite a few times.
Yeah.
Barkley had under 50 yards for the game. The Rams had a big lead. But here's the thing. In Philly, the talk all week, even though they're 2-0 and even though they're 18-1, Booger, your passing game's not good enough. Well, they might have that, too, if needed.
Yeah, no doubt. And when you look at this game, it was the tale of two halves. In the first half, the Rams dominated, and they moved the ball up and down the field. But when they got in the red zone, they stalled out. And instead of touchdowns, they had to kick field goals. And so they had a sizable lead. It left the door open a little bit. And in the second half, the Eagles said, you know what? We got this guy named A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, these 2 wide receivers, and they started to throw the football down the field. And it was the Hurts connection with those wide receivers, mainly A.J. Brown, that led this comeback, because in the second half, the passing game became alive. They left it open. And in the end, we remembered again, there are 3 phases to every game: offense, defense, and special teams. And to see what Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, because he blocked the field goal also, to see what those 2 guys did when they blocked the field goal, it showed you the heart of a champion.
I know we want to go back to the Rams here, but one thing we should say is, at some point, will people just realize, I understand he plays for a really good team.
Yeah.
I understand in college he played for a really good team. I'm talking about Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
He wins games.
Yeah.
He wins games. The drive was a 91-yard drive, 17 play. My point is, patient, not panic, and it paid off.
He's phenomenal, Boom, and a lot of the times we don't associate him with the great quarterbacks because he does it in a different way. Yes, he can throw the football, but he also uses his legs and runs the football. And so he does whatever the game is needed to win the game. And I think people have to understand it's not going to look like Brady or Manning or Roethlisberger. It's going to look a little bit different, and he's doing it in his own way. And he's one of the top 10 quarterbacks in our league.
Look, the Rams came in the playoffs and almost beat Philly in the snow. They came in on this day and almost beat Philly. They're right there. They're not happy on that plane ride home, but we're not doubting them, are we?
The Rams thought they should have won last year. They thought they should have won today, and I think they leave this game knowing they are right there with the elite teams in the NFC. When you talk about the Packers, the Lions, the Eagles, the Rams are right there in that category. But when you get in that, when you get it amongst those in the high cotton, you got to be on the details just a little bit more. And today they were not on the details, especially on the red zone early on.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won in the final minute. No team, we kept track of this from 1970 on, has done that in the first 3 games of a season. After the game, Baker Mayfield, all in a day's work.
I loved it. And it's also their D coordinator was the one that cut me in Carolina. So it was a lot of stuff was personal today. Hassan Reddick, former Jet, a lot of people.
Well, we're not the same team as what everyone says, same old Jets. These guys are going to fight no matter what the situation is. There's no give up in them. I hate that term. And I really don't know what that term means, but I know this. They're not the same old Jets.
No, they are not. Even though 0-3, they've been that before. 2 of the 3 games, I mean, Pittsburgh and Tampa, they were right in it. But look, I want to let the people in what we were texting Monday night with about 5 minutes ago in the game of the Bucs. They're trailing, and would they win on Monday night, et cetera. I said, Booger, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if you knew nothing about football, you turned on their game every week. Every week. They're the most exciting team in football.
Yes.
Offensively with Baker, are you kidding me? Defensively with Todd Bowles. By the way, the last time the Jets were over 500 for a season, Bowles was their coach. Defensively, he sends people at different times. Special teams makes it exciting in the wrong way. Almost cost them Monday, and it almost cost them on this day. They're so exciting. They live like this, huh?
Boom. That's how they play. And consider today that they had 3 offensive linemen out. Mike Evans pulls his hamstring, and they had the game in hand, but it wasn't good enough, and so they allowed the Jets to come back. But in the end, Baker Mayfield, he's done it. He does it every time. He's able to lead this young team down the field, and it's the perfect setup because you got a guy who's been around a long time, he's not bothered by the pressure. The pressure that phases him in no way, and he understands what it's like. He almost plays better in these moments, and I think it galvanizes the team. Todd made a statement after the game. He said, it's like a little family. This almost reminds me of like a little college team. Like they don't have the $50 million quarterback. They got enough veterans amongst a bunch of young guys, and they play that way. And when they get healthy, when they get Wirfs back, when they get Godwin back, and they get some of the other players back, I think they can compete against the upper teams in the NFC.
They've been competing against the upper teams.
No doubt, no doubt.
They got Philadelphia next week. Just a little aside, and those those are the white creamsicle uniforms. The Bucs lost their first 26 games they ever played in those uniforms. So that's how good and exciting the Bucs are. Now, on to the Packer game. Give Cleveland their due. I talked about what Kevin Stefanski said. Yeah. Don't you think they're one of the top 6, 7 defenses in football?
Top 5.
Despite what we think the Browns might be.
Boom. They're one of the top 5 defenses in football. And anytime they get competent quarterback play, they're going to be in every football game. And if they get above average quarterback play, they're going to start to win these football games. I thought it was a defensive struggle. And in the end, they made just enough plays over the Packers. And when the game is tight like that, where they don't have to score 30 or 40 points because of their defense and because of Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year last year, right now he's the Defensive Player of the Year this year. They're going to be in every game.
Quentin Johnson becoming a factor, caught 6. And that's their 3rd time, if I read this correctly, since the realignment to start 3-0. The Chargers, this is the type of start that Jim Harbaugh teams go for. And they've delivered again. Here we are. I knew we were coming.
Yeah.
They keep the game at their rate.
Yeah.
Last year was like legalized Deflategate, right? Like we kept doing this. They kind of ran at it. Herbert looks healthier.
Yeah.
That's a comeback this time. Their defense was stout. We saw it on the Monday night game against the Raiders. There's something about wherever Jim goes, they win, and they win right out of the gate.
They understand how to win. He understands how to win football games, complementary football. The defense is always going to keep them in the game and has been dominant. Even the ball went over their head today. Remember this rookie, Omarion Hampton. Najee Harris went out, maybe an Achilles injury.
Right.
Hampton, 130 all-purpose yards. Somebody to take a little bit of the pressure off Justin Herbert, who's been playing MVP football. And so when they don't play their best, they still understand how to win. You add that with Keenan Allen, they got reliable veterans. They got a young rusher that can run the football, and they got a defense that's going to keep the ball in front of them more times than not. It's the recipe for winning football games. And defensively, they make you go the long way. You're not going to get 60, 70-yard plays consistently. You got to drive the football 10, 12, 14 plays, and that's hard to do in the National Football League.
Chargers, after 3 games, are up 2 on everybody. The Chiefs haven't played yet.
Yeah.
It could be 3 on the Chiefs, but they're up. And they've won all division games. That's quite a cushion to put in your pocket in September. Now the Indianapolis Colts. Once upon a time, the Baltimore and Indianapolis Colts had the best punter who was not Ray Guy of the year. His name was Ron Stark. He punted, I think, some seasons 105 times, maybe 98. I mean, I think of him when I think of the punter punting once.
Yeah.
They're clicking on all cylinders, but you told me week 1 you liked there are a lot of parts that we knew about Jonathan Taylor. We didn't know a lot else.
And you got to give a shout out to Chris Battle, the general manager. They draft a lot of athletic, what I call freaks. Guys that are big, fast, athletic, that can move. And they were missing a quarterback. And everybody said this was Anthony Richardson. And they made a decision. Shane Steichen said, no, I'm going with Daniel Jones. I trust my job with Daniel Jones. And right now, Daniel Jones, through 3 games, has delivered, Boom. Not only delivered, he's not just playing adequate quarterback play. He's playing outstanding, taking care of the football, 18 for 25, 21 for 27. Like, these are the numbers that he's putting up, and he's not turning the football over. And in this league, more games are lost than won. He's not losing them games, which is allowing their playmakers and their young guys to win games. I like this team. Biggest test of their season coming up, though, next week at the Rams. We'll learn a little bit more about them next week.
So, Dallas and the Bears are each 1-2. Caleb threw for almost 304 touchdowns, and all they want is hope.
Yeah.
Right? And they're not going to win the division,
Yeah.
but they've escaped summer not being the 0 for 3. Congratulations to Ben Johnson. And you know he was smiling when he called the play and saw that trick play work.
No doubt, because that's the creativity that he's bringing to Chicago, the creativity that some say they missed in Detroit. And he's trying to bring this young quarterback along, Boom. It's a process. But right now, through a few weeks, the quarterback is making progress. When he takes his time and he's patient in the pocket, he's making every throw. And then you see the creativity when he gets outside the pocket. They're coming along, and it's good to see them get a victory as they're coming along.
Dallas defense, torched by Russ last week.
Yeah.
Not good on this day.
It's not going to be good.
Of course, lots of turnovers.
Lots of turnover. It's not going to be good, Boom, when you can't get pressure consistently on the quarterback. They don't have any impact players. Nobody that you have to game plan for right now.